It's allowed me to try out a number of different styles, a number of different approaches, and has actually opened my eyes to different ways of working with my peers and with other organisations.
The learning has been obviously experiential. I've been able to go back into work and say, well, you know, this is something I'd like to try out, discuss it with colleagues, and actually try new ways of doing things that I might not have done otherwise.
I think it's given me a set of tools really and a framework that's allowed me to have a perspective on peer leadership and allowed me to stand back and look at systems and see what, you know, as I say, that framework that's allowed me to see what's going on.
I'm working on a piece of work at the moment that's looking at how we integrate children's services, and just thinking about that from a systematic point of view has been really helpful in thinking and having some different tactics that I can then use with not only with multi-agency working but also about organisational readiness to accept different ways of looking at things as well, so within my own organisation.
My personal resilience has improved no end, and so is my understanding of the organisation's resilience. I think in a time of significant change, they are the two things that probably are most neglected.
We've learnt about doing experiments, and I've not really thought in the world of work about doing experiments in my day-to-day job. So that's been a good discipline that I've brought from this.
I think working with some of the other people and learning from each other, so the networking, so taking those experiences back to work and talking about how we can change what we're doing. And I suppose the other thing is having the time to step back and look at how you're working and the impact you're having on other people.
I found the Power Lab work very, very helpful, tops, middles and bottom. Regardless of what organisation you're in, whether it is a formal or an informal, whether it's your family or it's your organisation you work in, people work in different ways. Those who are at the top of the organisation work in particular ways. Those in the middle feel always pulled in all directions. Those at the bottom feel very done to. And actually knowing that, it depersonalises it and means that you can go in and think about role rather than personality, and is very helpful in getting a sort of way into changing how people feel at all those levels.
And what I realised coming on this course was I was kind of like doing it the same way as this course has sort of suggested you might want to approach leadership, but it's given me more of a sort of a theoretical foundation for it, and has allowed me to sort of take it one stage further and understand why I was doing things the way I was doing it, which is really, really important, I think.
It's helped me think about reflecting more about my own world that I inhabit at work. It's helped me reflect on some of the things that I know I'm quite skilled at, but actually also the things that I'm not so skilled at.
I guess I'm more likely to think about other people's worldviews. So instead of just having a rant about, oh, it's the commissioners who've done it that way, or it's the execs that have done it that way, actually thinking about, well, what does the world look like through their eyes, and therefore what response have I got to take that might change my reaction to that.
Actually, we talk to each other and we learn, and the networks that you build, and actually you do know somebody else who's probably had the same problem or an issue that you can go to who's outside your organisation. So it enables a bit of mentorship and peer support.
For me, I think the biggest thing has been the issue of peer leadership. So spending time thinking about how you behave as a peer and who your peers are and how you can facilitate bringing people together to develop that sort of peer leadership so that they develop the relationships and work differently together.
Collective learning and collective experiences collected in one place. So if we didn't have this program, this academy delivering it, they have got to know us and we've got to know them, and that's in over the period of time. That's invaluable because we have created a group of people who understand each other.
Oh, fantastically helpful. Really, really useful. It's somewhere where you can access lots of expertise. It's somewhere that brings together a lot of different learning and different perspectives. You know, it caters for clinicians as well as managers. Yeah, absolutely fantastically important and useful. Used it a lot, and I signpost lots of people to it.
We've just done a huge project about bringing in a new IT system. And the one thing that the team have said is they weren't managed by me before, so I took over about 18 months ago their management, and they've said I'm much more enabling and empowering than their previous manager, and actually they feel like they've grown under my leadership, which is a real positive.
The NHS doesn't comment on how good a leader people are, but I think that as a consequence of doing some of this and applying it, it's meant that when one contract came to an end, I had an offer of 4 or 5 other ones. I was in one role doing a whole system change using this methodology and practicing all these things. That contract came to an end, and I got offered lots of others to do similar work, and that's why I'm at East Cheshire doing what I'm doing now, which is taking all the learning from these sorts of programmes and well, this programme particularly, and the experience, and using it to hopefully change the system a little bit quicker than I've done before.